Hey guys, what's up? It's Cephalon here, and welcome back to episode 7 of Warframe, the Ultimate Beginner's Guide. Now today we're going to be talking about Mars and the 2 junctions attached to that there, as well as just your general progression, what weapons you should be going for, your syndicates if you've unlocked them yet, because you will be able to rank up relatively soon, as you can see by my little mastery bar right here, and different things like that there. So maybe I might leave syndicates until we actually hit Master Rank 3 in this series, but if you already have progressed on and you've got to Master Rank free and you can access your syndicates, go ahead and join the Steel Meridian. We'll talk a little bit more in the later episodes, but Steel Meridian is just the better syndicate to choose for newer players. You will be able to choose a different one later on. It will just come at a cost of some credits and different resources and things like that there, but you'll have a lot of those by then. So let's go ahead and talk about Mars, shall we? So Mars is probably, in my opinion, one of the more frustrating planets to deal with in Warframe because of this Phobos junction right here. So the Phobos junction, you look at it and it looks relatively easy because you're like, okay, so I have to defeat 150 enemies in a single mission, easy enough. Just do something like an excavation, defense mission, survival mission, whatever, super easy. And then you have your scan-free Cephalon fragments. You don't know what those are yet, but you assume that because it only says free, it can't be that hard, but they're super annoying to get to spawn. So we'll talk a little bit more about that there later on. And then we have the open free lift for relics, which I'll show you guys how to do as well in this video. And then we have also our Ceres junction over here. So you see we have the 2 junctions. You need to go for the Phobos one first and then to the Ceres one. And we'll talk a little bit more about the Ceres one after we're done explaining the Phobos one. So for the defeat 150 enemies in the single mission on Mars, I recommend progressing through and finding an excavation mission. Now you'll see I haven't actually unlocked every single node in this planet yet. That's simply because I haven't got enough time to play through all of them today. But you will eventually find an excavation mission somewhere around this area right here. And that will allow you to go in, and excavation missions are basically, at least in my opinion, some of the most efficient places to farm at, especially as a newer player, because you get endless amounts of enemies spawning in, which will allow you to easily get those 150 kills. Do it with your melee weapon, because maybe you don't have weapons that are strong enough yet. Maybe you didn't craft the Boltor in the last episode, which I did in the last episode as well. Not too sure if I showed it on camera or not, but you should be able to craft the Boltor by now. And the Boltor is a very good weapon versus the Grineer enemies. Check back to episode 5 where I explain a lot more in damage. It's basically really high in puncture damage, and that's good against armored opponents, and the Grineer are armored, and that's who's going to be spawning on this planet. So that's why you want to have the Boltor, so it'll basically just allow you to run free here super easy, and it'll allow you to get those 150 kills, again, super easy. So the reason we choose excavation missions, as I said, they're really efficient. You get a reward every 2 minutes. It'll go for the drop table super fast. So the drop table being A, A, B, C. That's like the rotation. So you get a reward from drop table A on the first excavator. Then the second one, another one from drop table A. The third one, drop table B. And then the fourth one, drop table C. And then it just resets. So, you're back to A, B, C. And it just goes in that rotating fashion. The same thing can be said for something like survival or defense. So every 5 minutes or every 5 waves in a survival or defense, that's rotation A. 10 minutes, rotation A, 15 minutes, rotation B, and then 20 minutes, rotation C. And that's kind of like your scaling in rewards. So you usually get better rewards at rotation C and B. You might get something like relics or endo or credits in rotation A, different things like that there. So that's just some information worth keeping in mind. Like I said, excavations are by far the best ways to do it because you have endless amounts of enemy spawning. You get the resource known as cryotic from the excavators, and then they go through those drop tables every 2 minutes, because if you're keeping the excavation sites powered, then you'll be able to blast through them every 2 minutes, because all you have to do is match the percentage, like the percentage that you have energy in your drill, to the time that it's taking. So you have 50%, it's taking 50 seconds, that'll be it. You don't have to refill that drill. So make sure to pre-fill those drills up with as many power cells as possible, defend them, and then that's pretty much it. Focus on killing, get it done. Super simple, easy peasy. So moving on to the scan-free Cephalon fragments on Mars. This is going to be a frustrating one, and it might keep you stuck on Mars for about, maybe I want to say 3 days. If you're unlucky, if you're really good and you like snipping around everywhere, chances are you've probably already found them all if you've even touched Mars already, because you can just replay missions and find them. But because Warframe has randomly generated tile sets, it's going to be really hard to find these Cephalon fragments. I'll have a video clip of me scanning one on screen now, so you can see what it looks like. But it's basically just like a little blue glowy thing that you have to scan with Codec Scanner. And if you don't know where to get Codec Scanner, basically get your Codec Scanner from going down to your arsenal. So like so, go down to your arsenal, then go into gear, and then click an empty slot and purchase 5 or 3 Codec Scanners. I believe you get 25 charges each, and they cost 500 credits each. So, you know, every time you buy one Codec Scanner, it's the equivalent to having 25, I guess. I'm not too sure of the exact number, but put it this way, if you have 3 or 5, then you'll have them for a long time, and you'll learn more about scanning and stuff later on in the game. But I believe that was just put in there to sort of like introduce you to the concept of scanning. You can scan enemies and stuff, and it will reveal their weaknesses, which you can view in the codex, what they drop, different things like that there. But it's not really worth it whenever you have videos like this and then the wiki available to you as well, where it's just all documented by a lot of different players. So, you know, it's that there. But for this scan-free Cephalon fragments, like I said, you have to be checking like every corner of the map on Mars to basically just find these things. Now, they can't spawn on defense missions or interception missions, as far as I'm aware. So just stick to survival, sabotage, capture, exterminate, rescue, spy, those types of missions to find them. And then you should be good to go. But it's going to be a super frustrating one, unless you can find something like loot detector or loot radar, different mods like that there. I'm not too sure of the exact names, but there's a lot of different mods in the game that will help you out whenever it comes to finding all these different stuff. Let me see if I can actually bring one up. Mods. Okay, let's see if we don't freeze. So if we type in, is there no way I can like sort by utility mods? Loot. Okay, that's my chat. Derp. Here we go. Up here, loot detector. No, looter. No, not looter. Loot detector, and you have, I believe one is called Thief's Wit. We have Master Thief there. That does not help you at all. But there's one's called Thief's Wit. It's a bronze mod. You can get it. Here it is. And that basically will just mark the Cephalon fragments on your map. So it's pretty helpful, but, you know, it's a common mod. You might not find it, but there's drop chances there, or not the drop chances, but the drop sources. You can get it from Anti-MOA, Fusion MOA, Shield Lancer, Sergeant, Transmute. So you could try transmuting it if you like. You guys know how to transmute, but I say your safest bet would probably be the Shield Lancers there. So you can get those by, I believe you could probably get those on Mars, actually, if you played like a defense mission. Yeah, try playing a defense mission on Mars, staying in there, see if you can get that Thief's Wit mod to drop, and then run around and then do your exterminate missions and capture missions and things like that there, and then you should be able to find all your Cephalon fragments pretty simplistically. But other than that, like this junction is pretty straightforward. You have your open free lift void relics. I'll have footage of that there happening as well after I show you how to actually activate that there. So you see in the top right hand corner right here, we have this little fire symbol. Go ahead, click on that there, and then choose the fastest lift mission right there. So let's say, for example, capture. It's a pretty fast lift mission. You jump into that there, and then what's going to happen is you will see that a lot of enemies are glowing yellow. So kill those glowing yellow enemies, and then they'll have a chance to drop reactant, which is basically like a little yellow ball. You have to pick up 10 of that. A lot of people like to call them lemons because they kind of look like lemons. And you know how we have potatoes and stuff in the game? I just call them lemons. So pick up your lemons, pick up 10 lemons, and then basically complete the mission. Once you have the mission completed, then you will get awarded with a prime part. Now, if you're playing with more than yourself, sounds weird, I know, but if you're playing with more than one person, you will basically have the option to choose all these different prime parts. Now, let's say, for example, you're playing and you get to the end of the mission, everyone's collected their 10 reactants, and you have the choice of 4 different rewards. Choose Forma if it appears, because Forma is super important. I will be using it later on in this guide. Get at least, I want to say, 15 Forma blueprints. Get 15 Forma blueprints if you can, and then that will allow you to basically have like a fully formed Warframe weapon, secondary weapon, maybe even melee weapon if we're lucky enough. So 15 is a decent number to shoot for, but obviously anytime you can, get your Forma blueprints, have a massive stockpile, because there's a lot in this game to format, and there's a lot to do, there's a lot to get, and there's very powerful frames out there whenever you basically learn how to format and change polarities and stuff on your weapons and warframes, but we'll talk a little bit more about that there whenever we get to it. So, that should be it for the Void Relics, really. So, simple enough, easy peasy. So, moving on to the series junction, we have defeat the Sergeant, at Iliad on Phobos. So you go over here. Iliad is up here. Just go ahead and kill the Sergeant again. I'll show you gameplay of me killing him in the next video. And then we have defeat Lich Krill at War on Mars. That will be in the next video as well. Moving from Mars over to Ceres and talking a little bit more about Ceres. Defeat 300 Grineer enemies on Mars. So you don't have to do this in the one mission. Just over a collection of all these missions. Super simplistic in my opinion. And then refine a Void Relic once at the console in your orbiter. So you'll realize that once you complete Earth, you'll have like a little yellow marker down here to slot something in here. This will turn this here thing on. And then the more Void missions you'll play, you'll notice you get these little Void traces down here. So you see the resources. We have 137 out of 200. Basically, all you want to do is choose any random relic and then basically press one of these. And this will increase or decrease the drop chance of certain items on that relic. So as you can see, whenever I hover through them, the little bars change. And that's basically what it's doing. So if I were to give you guys any advice, let me see actually. The Paris Prime is a really good, it's a really good weapon to go for as an early game player, but the Paris Prime parts are usually very common. So there you go, Paris Prime lower limb, Paris Prime upper limb, so you might be able to, make that there one like Flawless or Radiant or whatever. But you guys can see the rarity sort of color ratings here. So bronze is common, you have your silver, which is rare, and then you have your gold, which is like super rare. So that's like the top tier stuff. That's the really rare stuff. So it's really just going through. So you can see you get your prime Warframe parts and stuff like that there. Prime Warframes and, well, not prime weapons, but prime Warframes really don't serve that big of a difference. So don't be too stressed out if you can't get a prime Warframe. Prime Warframes come with an extra polarity, so they're a little less effort to get fully formed. They have like a slight energy increase and some have a slight armor increase. So like I said, it's not that big of a deal if you don't have a Prime Warframe over a regular version. Prime weapons on the other hand, big differences, super big differences, and we'll talk a little bit more about those and sort of standout weapons to me at least later on, whenever you guys get to the master rank, which is sort of applicable to talk about that there. But other than that, really, guys, you're going to be going against Grineer on this planet, so make sure you have the Boltor. We already have that crafted. It's on my back. Level up your weapons as per usual on spy missions and stuff. Get them to max rank. Remember, unequipping weapons will allow you to level up the weapon faster. So if I wanted to level up my Boltor quickly, I'd have my secondary and my melee unequipped. I'd go play spy missions, and then my Boltor would get all the XP from the spy missions and things like that there. And yeah, just throw on your damage mods and stuff. So if you have Serration, go ahead and throw that there on. I can't throw it on at the minute because, I haven't got a high enough Boltor, so it's costing 8, so I can't throw it on because I only have 7. So that is basically it. I have a lot to do on this account, so I can show you guys more of the gameplay on the planet. So I'll be showing you guys all the boss fights for these planets in the next video. I just wanted to kind of get this Cephalon fragment thing out of the way for you guys, because Cephalon fragments are a super massive pain in the ass. Literally check every nook and cranny in the map and then you should be good to go. Like, honestly, it's just super annoying whenever it comes to farming those, or finding them at least. That I feel like it holds a lot of players back. I've actually been procrastinating making this video because of those, so I'm going to get that there, hit out of the ballpark today, and hopefully get that there done. So I'm going to be trying to upload these more often for you guys, because I've been getting a lot of requests too on stream. So tomorrow's Sunday, I'm going to be taking that day to sort of go through my YouTube videos and sort of like make my content better and stuff. And I also have an announcement coming up tomorrow as well. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button below. If you're excited for the next episode, leave a comment, tell me what you want me to cover. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you want more Warframe content from me, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.